Hey everyone, it's Pancaked, back again with another Watch Me Draw. This week we are doing a Pharah piece from Overwatch. This piece was actually, if we're looking at the video right now, this was the 5th attempt of me trying to work out a pose or even just a composition that looked nice for this. I don't know, I find Pharah is just pretty hard to draw. She's got really cool design, but some funky proportions going on there. A little hard to figure out how it works in a 3D space. But this attempt that you're seeing here was one that I found worked out not too bad, so I decided to go ahead and keep at it. And as you can see here, I'm doing yet another sketch layer over it. This is typically how I do all my drawings. Is I'll do a very rough kind of thumbnail-y sketch first just to get the feel for it, and if I like the pose and the general idea of it, then I can go in with another sketch layer, make sure all my details are right, and then that way when I go to ink it, I'm not second guessing myself so much on like how the proportion should be and whatnot. So right now we are working on the helmet here and getting some details there. It's looking pretty good. But yeah, in terms of actual Overwatch related stuff, the Winter Wonderland update just recently ended. I played that quite a bit there. Seems to be the most times when I'm actually playing Overwatch is when there's the update comes out. I'll play it for a ton, get super back into it. Then the update ends, I stop playing it quite so much. And then after that, a couple months later, the next holiday update comes out. I'll play it again, which it's good because it also ties in usually with the ranking system, so I can log in, play the holiday update, get my rank for that season, kind of stop playing, and then when I sign in next time, like a few months later, be like, hey, here was your rank for the last season. You did kind of okay. I've been in Platinum for the last 3 seasons, so I'm not terrible. I was pretty close to Diamond this season, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be playing it too much anymore, or if I'm going to be able to climb into there. It's still about 300 SR away, so yeah, don't think that's happening anytime soon. Would be cool though. And if we go back to the video here, we are just about ready to start inking. In fact, we are starting the inking process here. I was trying to find a good brush size to use for this piece. I always was having a little bit of trouble there, making sure my proportions are right. In fact, I think I redo like the bottom jaw of this face a couple times because I could just never get the proportion right. Like you see this first one, it's really square and really wide, and kind of looks more like a soldier from Team Fortress 2 than Pharah's face. I'm not quite sure what point in the video I go back and change it at, but we'll see in just a second here. And yeah, I guess Pharah, she's a cool character. I really like her design, and I like just her story and lore and everything about the character, but I'm really bad at playing her. Yeah, but my friend who is named Rocket Queen is actually very good at Pharah, and yeah, so it's kind of sad that a lot of the meta of competitive Overwatch right now, Pharah isn't as viable as some other characters are, just because there's a lot of counters to her. Like if you have hit scan or if you have a diva on the team, they'll just kind of wreck you a little bit, and you just gotta be like, well, like I guess that's how it is. Yeah, I was playing around with the face a lot. Funny enough, only having to draw half a face I found was harder than drawing a full face, because you're trying to convey even a little emotion on there, but you don't have eyes or eyebrows to give any sort of expression, which was it posed to be a little bit difficult there. When I go into the coloring part of this video, I think I actually changed the face before I started recording again. My mistake. And here we're doing the gun, or the rocket launcher, I guess it would be called. And for parts of this I did use the like the shift key just to get some straight edges, so they don't have any real line weights. They're not the best looking lines, but I think for this purpose, to make the rocket launcher actually look like it's straight in one line, that's kind of what I had to do. I've been thinking about getting like one of those rubber flexible rulers, and then I was like, maybe if I use that, I can actually put that on my Cintiq and get like a line with line width on there by using the rubber ruler on there, just to draw across the line. I just haven't found any in any stores, or when I'm actually like thinking about it. It never crosses my mind, like when I'm at a store to go check for one. It's always when I'm at home here trying to draw a straight line. I'm like, wow, it'd be a lot easier if I actually had a ruler to draw on, but I wanted to get a rubber one so it won't damage my screen potentially, because I don't know if a hard-edged one would. I had a feeling it could possibly, so I don't want to risk that. It also cut the pen nib a little bit, so I wouldn't want to do that either, because the pen nibs are kind of expensive and you can't ship them to Canada. You have to go to the States, so yeah, it's a no from me. And it looks like here we're getting about to start the coloring process here, and just finishing up drawing the arms, changing them up a little bit from my sketch because I realized they weren't quite proportionately accurate to what I was thinking they were going to look like. Oh, and of course adding the wings, because my friend, who is the Rocket Queen person who plays Pharah a lot, was the one who suggested that I should draw this, and he wanted it to have the wings out, so I did that. I hope you like it. I think it looks okay. They didn't really have anything in the reference packs that showed what it looks like with the wings out, so I just kind of had to guess and like look at other fan art there and see what they were doing. But I think it looked all right. And now we're adding some colors, making it pop. I don't know why I snapped my fingers there. I don't know if you even heard that, but I did. But it was under the desk, so you might not even hear me snapping the fingers. Wow, the time is flying through this. I actually am a lot more comfortable with this second speed art or commentary than I was my first one. This is feeling a lot more natural now, because I'm just kind of talking about what's going on, and you guys are just along for the ride. Like I'm pulling you with a big old string, pull you right off a cliff. I'm just kidding. I like you guys. Pretty cool. And now we're just adding a little shading here, and I have a technique later on. I'll mention it once we get to that part. We did some coloring with like the line art to give it a little bit of a highlighty look. But if we're going to talk about cool things that happened, last night actually, the Odd One's out. You guys have probably heard of him. He's a pretty big YouTube artist, animator guy who does like those IRL stories, but like has animations for them. He's got like, yeah, I think he said 2 million subscribers and like 100,000 Twitter followers. He actually followed me on Twitter last night, and I might have freaked out a little bit. That was really cool. I'm happy for that. If you're watching this video, hi. Big fan of your stuff. Yeah, I guess that's about it. Okay, so we are adding the second layer of shading there. I like to take a lighter purpley gray and go over where like I had originally done the shading. Gives it a little bit of more third dimension. And here you can see I'm trying to play with a glow effect to just give it a little bit of a light source there. And I was trying to add the little rocket flares. This was a first attempt, and then it's just like, it's not really working that well. So instead, I start adding the background, where we're just adding a cloud brush. It's really nothing fancy. It's actually pretty basic, but I was getting a little tired of working on this piece at this time. I should really practice on backgrounds more, but I just don't. Oh, here we go. Here's the little rocket flame boost, I guess. I think I put it on like I think that's a hard light layer. Oh, here's the technique I was talking about for shading. When there's like an intense light, this is something new I've tried, where you add you change the line art color to white, and it seems to really make it pop. I like it quite a bit actually. It's looking, I'm gonna have to use this technique a lot more in the future too, I think. because it is, I quite like it a lot. We're just about wrapping up the video here, so thank you all for watching. Make sure to leave a comment, like, subscribe, that kind of thing. And this is Pancake signing off. And until next time, I'll see you later.